welcome everyone to our Monday weekly BDMs, where we go over numbers and we touch on some subjects to help the agents get better at what they do and help whoever's building an agency, with the team building as well aspect of it. So we're gonna go. We're gonna start with the numbers. Top agencies. Actually, let's look at the top 20 writers month to date. Number 20. Theodore Ingram, 20, wow, got some big numbers today. 26,086. Number 19, Sean Barnes, 27,312. Number 18, Christopher Wasserman, 27,502. John, not surprising at all. Number 17, John Marcella, 27,841.
Nice.
Nice, John, nice. Number 16, Lando Guardio, 28,381. Number 15, Corey Williams. Corey, wow, congratulations, Corey. 30,596. Number 14, Daniel Byrne, 30,691. Kyrie, my boy. Number 13, Kyrie Joyner, 30,775. Number 12, Stephanie Cover, 31,083. Number 11, David Pyle, 31,171. Congratulations, Dave. Number 10, Desmond Ray, 32,316. Number 9, Garrett Dewitt, 33,370. Number 8, Matthew Borsch, 34,355. Number 7, Orlando Payne, 36,174. Number 6, Cedric Hartman, 36,305. Then the top 5 are Mohamed Roshini, 37,840. Number 4, Gabriel Erickson Singh, 38,991. Number 3, Wayne Carr, congratulations, Wayne. Woo, 39,946. Number 2, Jonathan. It's always a fight between them two, right? Between Jonathan Persina and Steve Giordano.
I'm sorry.
It's always a fight between them two.
Who's that, Stephen? Who else?
Huh?
Oh, Jonathan.
Jonathan Persina. He's number 2, 49,316. Number 1, no surprise there, Steven Giordano, 85,420. Round of applause.
Is that so far for this month?
Month to date, correct.
Month to date.
Correct. Woo-hoo. Top agencies. FFL Dynasty, Shimera Thompson, 14,477. FFL Shoreline, Francis Doherty, 41,055. FFL, that's a new one. FFL The Future, Danny Gonzalez, 59,170. Jeff Boothing, FFL The Good Life, 61,040. Congratulations, Jeff. FFL Insured Trust, Stephanie Cover, 62,958. FFL Third Coast, Alex Lebrija, 67,296. FFL Wisdom, Strength and Beauty, Carlos Reynoso, 71,398. FFL Pay It Forward, 71,767. Michael Lower. Daniel Byrne, FFL Legacy, 74,708. Jonathan Persina, FFL Loyalty, 86,116. Cindy City, FFL Service Before Self, 106,994. Segrex Serena has been climbing, man. Good, congratulations, Jose. FFL Momentum, 140,748. Jesse Parley, FFL Avenues, 142,984. Gabriel Singh, FFL The Way, 165,883. Kyrie been really climbing. Kyrie Joyner, FFL Humble Beginning, 201,165. Mark Tiroli, FFL The Chosen Ones, 203,468. David Pyle, FFL Great Lakes, 221,38. Congratulations, Dave. Caleb Amoros, FFL 320, 247-354. Stephen Giordano, FFL Health and Wealth, 332,982. Wayne Carr, FFL Hidden Gems, 370,715. Rob Richmond, FFL Apex, 630,449. Brian Mendenhall, FFL Central, 708,495. And Ivan Vedrov, the number one agency, FFL Universe, at 1,397,935. That's the agency. That's what the top agencies did. Okay. So we're gonna go over some numbers and we're gonna talk about a little bit about underwriting today. Okay. So as we usually say, the name of the agent, the appointments. This is the number of appointments, the number of seats, how many people you sat down with. Because you have 18 appointments, that doesn't mean that you sat with 16 people. You know, probably somebody wasn't there or whatever the case may be. Closes, how many closes you did. In applications, how many applications you did. Sometimes the closes are less than the applications because in a house you could have closed the husband and wife, okay, or a kid, etc., whatever the case may be. And this then the total that you did for that week, okay. So let's start with me. 18 appointments, 16 sits. This is amazing, by the way. Not because it's me, but because it is. 6 closes, 7 applications, 9,144. Xiomara, congratulations. She's one of my agents. She's doing fantastic, killing it every week. 26 appointments, 17 sits. We're going to talk a little bit about this, Xiomara, if you're watching, okay? We're going to talk about this and I can definitely help you with that. 17 sits, 11 closes, 11 apps, 18,084. Alban, 14 applications. Appointments. 8 sits. Alban, if you want, you can either call me or call John, and we can help you with this. Okay. We can figure out what's going on here. It shouldn't be that much difference. We always say that if you're gonna have a cable put in your house, right? And they tell you, listen, be at home at 10 a.m. You're gonna be there, right? You want your cable. So why are these people not being at their home? There's something going on that we are not saying in the phone. We're not tying it down good enough. 4 closes, 50%. That's good. And 4 applications, 5,568. Andy Garcia, killing it in Florida. He's doing pretty good. 23, 17, that's good. 10 closes, 10 apps, 8,232. Is you, Shanae?
Mhm.
There you go on the board. There you go. 4 appointments, 3 sits, 2, 1,788.
Good job, son.
Good.
Miss G on board.
Who's Labra?
Ms. G.
Miss
Mama
G
G.
on board. Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah.
I'm forget it.
All right, Mama G.
Forget it. Yeah.
Gotta put that G on there.
No. I thought this was a V. So I was like, Labra.
Yeah.
Laura. 10, 6, that's good. 3, woo. 5. So that means that in a house, she closed multiple people for 5,047. There you go. John Marcella, 11, 7, 5, 9, 12. No surprise there. Congratulations to all. And we congratulate our first-time writers as well. First-time writers. Is this doctor or DR? What's this?
That looks like a doctor, Dr. Dom T.
Okay, Dr. Dom T, Ivy T, Michael K, Constancio R, Matthew D, Laura R, Fatima Z, Estrella D, Melissa B, Aaron W, Arthur L, Albert S, Sue H, Julie M, Brian M, Ricky E, Lori L, Stephanie M, Jacob V, Nicole H, Chase P, Charlie J, Robert G, Kathleen B, Mark C. Congratulations, the first time writer. So before we go on into underwriter, let me tell you why we take numbers every week after the weekend and then the full week. The numbers are important because they're going to tell you your story. They're going to tell you where you're lacking and why are you not where you want to be. If you're not running enough appointments, the numbers going to reflect that. And the numbers, like, let's say,
John 11 appointments, disgraceful.
no, let's see this one right here. One. The number's going to tell you where you're lacking. Is it on the phone? Like on the phone or on the settings? Like they're gonna tell you a story. And that if you don't know, if you don't keep track of that, then you might not know where you're lacking. You get it? So this is to help you guys. No, it's not to put anybody down or anything like that. So that's what we require. The numbers for the weekend on Monday before 11, correct? Maria, correct, before 11, right?
On what day? I'm sorry.
Mondays before 11, and then on Thursday for the full week. So if you could send the numbers by then, is to help you guys, okay? So to tell you, to help you, in any areas that you guys lacking. 80% of the business, 80% of the business is this. It's the phones. We're not good on the phones. You know what I mean? So we gotta take that into account. 80% is that. 15% is sitting with the family. 5% is product knowledge. Any questions on that? Any questions? Okay, let's go into our main topic. Underwriting. There's a lot of people that we get it. A lot of people are new and they call in their upline or agents as they should, and that's good. If you are new, by all means, call me, call somebody, call for help. The problem lies when now you are 6 months in or more, or 4 6 months, and you still calling, asking for the same questions. That means that we're just going through the motions when we're filling out an application. We are not reading and we are not retaining what the application is asking. Especially when you call an upline or somebody else several times asking the same question. Like we said, yes, call if you need help, etc. But when you're constantly calling for the same thing, we have to grow as we become seasoned agents, and you want to build your agency or whatever the case may be. We need to get better at underwriting. I know that John Marcella, he's been helping us with underwriting tremendously, but he also runs. So when you call him and ask him about a question that we should know already, that takes time away, times away from whatever he's doing. If he's with a client, he's taking the time. He's saying, excuse me, let me answer this question for one of my agents, etc. You taking time from him or whatever the other agent is, whoever it is. So please, let's start, when you guys fill out an application, this is what I say. When you're first starting, you should marry 3 to 4 companies. Like me, I like American Amicable, Mutual of Omaha, and AAG, because you can put anybody there. Anybody that has a pulse, you can put them in there, they die. Okay? But on the same breath, once you start sitting with a lot of people, now you have to expand your portfolio. So I started with those 4. Now I know more about Transamerica. And now I got Prosperity as well, that I'm learning more and more. Who doesn't have height and weight requirements? You guys know? Who doesn't?
Who doesn't have what?
Neighbors.
There you go. Royal neighbors don't have. You know what I mean? So, who takes people with diabetes? Diabetes, I'm sorry. Your Hancock. They were just here. So we have to, marry four when you're beginning, but then later on, you should be able to expand your profile. You don't want to be staying there and then you see people posting, I put this person with an Aetna because of this. I went with Forrester because of this, and you don't know. You should be able, like when you in your car, that's why we say that the car is the best office you're going to have. Like, what are you doing in the car? Are you just blasting the music or just listening to nothing or nonsense? Use it to learn. These are things that, I tell people, listen at least 2 to 3 podcasts a day. You have to, if you're going to be doing this as a full-timer or part-timer hoping to go full-time, you have to really breathe and sleep and, eat this. This is the business this is your business. I tell people, when you were in corporate America and they tell you, okay, listen, you need to be here from 8 to 5. You were there from 8 to 5. That's what it is. Well, this is your business. This is more important than what you had before. So why not treat it more than that? You should dedicate the time that it needs in order for it to grow. Okay. I'm going to bring John so he can touch up on that on the writing. What's going on?
You mentioning American Amicable, I didn't think that we could write them in New Jersey.
Yes, it's called Occidental. It's the same company. It's called Occidental.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like Cars Jr. and Hardee's, same thing.
One of their products is not good in New Jersey. I forgot which one it is. but
Yeah,
They have several products.
the term easy, term easy.
Home Protector, I think,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Home Protector is good. Term easy is not in New Jersey, but Occidental is the same thing as American Amicable. Same company.
And is that a final expense policy?
No. You can do final expense and you can do Home Protector, just like HMS.
So Home Protector, it's like a term.
Correct.
What cashback option?
You can do cashback option. You can do disability, just like America.
Okay, I think we've been trying to get recontracted with them, and I think there's been an issue, so.
No worries. Get with me and I can help. I'll leave it to John so he can talk a little bit about the underwriting. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are doing final expense, and I'll use final expense as an example, it's a handful of carriers. It's Eagle, Aetna, Prosperity, Living Promise. 5'1", 380 pounds, maybe Royal Neighbors, but I think Aetna is height and weight free questions too.
I never really named it, to be honest with you.
So anyway, yeah, those are your final expense carriers. You have Eagle. I like Living Promise. I always did.
Love it.
Prosperity, which is pretty lenient. On your mortgage, you have Americo, HMS, Mutual of Omaha, John Hancock. So I was telling Carlos earlier that a lot of you new agents out there, I mean, please have a clue before you walk into a house. If you're going in for final expense, know some products. Don't go in there knowing nothing. I've gotten so many calls over the weekend on, people with just basic high blood pressure, and they're like, where do I go? You should really know that. I mean, you've been studying for so long. You've been waiting so long for your contracts. So you should definitely know your products. I don't expect you to know everything, but we do give you a cheat sheet so you know this. And also, I just want to give everybody a tip. If you're a first-time writer, if you're brand new, out of the gate, you just got your license, you go into a house, please do not, and I repeat, do not, I wish I could write in capital letters, use a laptop where you're going to use your own Wi-Fi. What is that called again? Hotspot. Don't use hotspot, please. I can't tell you how many agents have called me. I don't want to mention any names. Where like hours later, they're still working on the application because they're trying to find the hotspot. They're like, lifting their laptop up against, the tree. Call the carriers. If you're brand new, even if you're not new, call every carrier, tell them to send you paper apps. I still use paper apps, and I'm proud of it. It's quick, it's easy, I know it. I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi missing, I don't have to worry about any signals going out. I'm in and out. But if you guys are gonna use laptops, that's great. Just don't do hotspot because it doesn't work. And I
What's the
know you're just
alternative?
trying to get by. Say that again?
What's the alternative to hotspot?
Well, what I do, if I walk into, you can either get your own service from your carrier, which could be pretty pricey, so cost efficient. If you're gonna walk into a house with a laptop, I ask for their password if I'm gonna use a laptop. But 70% of the applications I write is all paper app. So if I'm not using a paper app, I'll just ask them for their password, which everybody has. It's on their refrigerator. If they have kids, trust me, they know it. Just don't use hotspot, because I had some agents over the weekend, they had to go drive into like down the block because there was no service, and it goes in and out. And once you're in an application, the last thing you want to do is tell a client, oh, can we go outside where I can get service? We don't expect you to know everything, but I mean, if you're going in for a final expense appointment, just know your top 4 carriers: Eagle, Prosperity, Aetna, Living Promise. Now Aetna does cover COPD, so maybe you want to shy away from Royal Neighbors and go to Aetna. Again, whatever your comfort zone is, always keep AIG in the back of your pocket for people that are really unhealthy. And then mortgage, there's a handful of products, just know those products. As far as underwriting, again, we don't expect you to know everything, but we give you cheat sheets. You know, we give you so much knowledge. You just can't call up your manager saying, hey, where do I go? You know, this guy's looking for $200,000. This guy's looking for a $200,000 mortgage. What product should I write? You should know HMS, cashback option. You should know that. And if you don't know that, it's frustrating for people like us. I mean, underwriting, we could go so many ways. Just, any questions? Okay, go.
Hi, yes. I had a client on Saturday, and basically she told me she was just super, super healthy. She takes all these vitamins, blah, 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 blah. So we do the application, and then a question pops up saying, has the proposed had COPD or bronchitis in like the last 2 years? And then she was like, me? No. And I was
What carrier?
like, Mutual of Omaha.
Living Promise?
Yes.
Okay.
So because she said no, I put no. I was at her job, so she didn't have any medication, but she claimed that she didn't take anything. So how do you kind of pivot in? Because if she was telling me no, but the question is coming up, yes, that obviously means that that's something that was in her past, right? Technically, yes.
Oh, they asked you like an additional question?
Yeah, it was an additional question,
Okay.
and then she still told me no, so I put no, but they put her as greeted, so it upped it like $40.
Right.
She didn't want it, so I didn't know what would be the next option, because if she already told me.
Were
her
they a
health was
smoker
fine.
at one time?
No, she said she wasn't, she's never smoked.
All right. Again, you have to know a little bit about the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
If that question comes up as, if it comes up again, do you know if you've ever been diagnosed with COPD? Did you have asthma? Do you take inhalers for allergies? Because it's probably like the albuterol or
Right,
those inhalers.
right.
Just try to break it down today. And if you feel like somebody's lying, I mean, what I do at first is I say, the more information you give me, the more I can help you. I don't want to waste your time. I can't waste my time, all due respect. I have so many people to go see, and I want to just try to make this as painless as possible. If you forget to tell me something, I'm going to find out. I mean, I say it in so many ways where, you know, what the carriers are looking for is script, MIB, DMV, criminal. You're not a criminal. Any DWIs, any speeding tickets, any reckless driving in the last 5 to 10 years. MIB, every time you go to a doctor and he writes you a script, or maybe you go to a doctor and he feels you're a diabetic, but you don't want to take the medication yet because you want to eat grilled chicken for 6 months and see how, he's writing those in his notes because he's got to cover his behind. So all that stuff gets reported. And scripts, anytime you've been written a medication, it's going in your MIB. So if they gave you albuterol just for an allergy, please let me know. So when that question comes up again, you got to be a little bit firmer and just say, hey, listen, this is what's coming up. It's you, because we ran your social. So if there's something you're not telling me, can you try to think?
Well, for me, I just didn't want to waste my time. And like I said, how she said, like, no, not me, it was kind of like underlining, oh, did that come up? Type of, that's how I took it.
Right.
So then I asked her again, so are you completely sure that in the last 2 years you weren't prescribed anything? Like, I went through all of
Right.
that. Then she went to this whole, well, you're like the 6th person that came to come see me. And I'm like, okay. So
And I don't want to be I don't want there to be a 7th person. The reason why 6 people came to see you is because either you're not being honest with me or you're just not telling me something. If you tell me everything, we're done here. I'll put you with a carry. Worst case scenario, I got to put you with AIG and let you wait 2 years and pay a higher premium. I'm trying to avoid that.
Right.
I'm trying to get you a discounted price where you don't have to wait 2 years.
Right.
So please, just talk to me and just try to break that down.
Well, no, I rescheduled.
But what you
so-
could do, you did it online, obviously.
Yeah. Mhm.
Please tell me you got a third-party authorization form signed.
Yeah.
Yes, no?
No.
Get that signed,
Mhm.
send it to the underwriter, and then call the underwriter back in a day and say, hey, listen, I'm wondering what medication knocked her to graded. They'll tell you, as long as you have that on file.
Okay, gotcha.
That's another reason why I do
Would you
paper
say
apps.
that again, another medication, that's what? You said?
With Mutual of Omaha, any one of their products,
Mhm.
in all their applications, aside from online, in the paper apps,
Mhm.
there's a form, it's the third-party authorization form. When you have a client sign that, if it ever comes back graded or declined, the underwriter is gonna tell you why it was declined or the medication. If it was like due to MIB, usually they don't get too deep, but if it's a medication that knocked them out,
Mhm.
they'll tell you, because you have that file in hand with the underwriter.
Okay.
Now, usually, I can't tell you how many times I call Mutual of Omaha, like, I know everybody. So when I call them up, I'm like, all right, you can't tell me because it's due to the MIB. Can you just break it down? Just let me know what question it was on the application. Yeah, it was question 4, one of the ABC. And then you put 2 and 2 together, you know it's, have you ever had a stroke, heart attack in the last 2 years? And now you know what you're down to, and then you break it down. But yes, by having a third-party authorization form signed, now you break it down. If it's a matter of a COPD medication, which Mutual of Omaha is really strict on, even if they're taking inhalers, now you got to go to Aetna, even though she doesn't have a COPD. Because maybe that medication, the albuterol or whatever inhaler it is that she's taking, or whatever she's taking, it doesn't fly with Mo, but it'll fly with Aetna, or it'll fly with Royal.
Right.
It'll only fly with Royal if it's not within the last 18 months. But Aetna is preferred. So do that.
Okay.
That was, I'm sorry, my question with that, so when you're trying to get a quote or give a quote to a customer, you put in all their information, the date of birth, gender, and all of that, and it comes up with preferred, standard, and graded. You have not gone through that app yet. What do you quote the customer?
You shouldn't be quoting anybody until you know what their health conditions are.
So,
They don't have a sheet yet for, like how we have the other sheets for health and we can kind of pivot and know what company to look at. They don't have that for Aetna yet. So
It doesn't matter. Whenever you hear, I'm not going to tell you guys who to write with. I like my comfort zone. Everybody knows who I write with. I put it out there all the time. But there are other options like Aetna, like Royal, like Prosperity. You don't need if you walk into a house and somebody's got bad asthma where they're taking albuterol and a bunch of inhalers, or they have COPD and they're not on oxygen, you should automatically go to Aetna, automatically. Period, end of discussion. But to answer your question, Ma, you shouldn't be giving quotes unless you know where you're
Well,
going.
But the thing is sometimes they won't even allow you to apply for them.
Who's that?
Unless they have an idea on what it's gonna cost. So like, I mean, in some of the training that I've gotten, some of the podcasts and everything, they show you, like, say for America, you do a quote, you'll give them like what the age, what
Time
it
out.
would be.
When you walk into a house, come up here. When you go on an appointment and you sit down with a client, right? I mean, the edited version. What's your approach? I don't mean like, hi, I'm John, I'm in Long Island. I don't want none of that. All right, we're gonna do business now. Here's my ID. Here's what you sent back. You know why I'm here, right? I'm protecting your family, right? We'll do final expense. So what's the first thing you do? I mean,
I'll go through the
financial inventory?
financial inventory. I go through that. Then I go through I ask some basic health questions.
Such as?
So I'll ask them, are you on any medications? What are some of your medications?
That's the first question you always
And
ask.
I'll jot them down.
Okay,
And then, as I'm learning now about different medications, it will direct me as to where I'm gonna.
your mind will
No.
direct you.
Right.
Okay,
Right. So I'll do that, and then I'll ask them if there's anything major, heart.
heart attack, strokes,
all of
cancer.
that. Ask them if they're a smoker. That might even be one of the first questions I ask. So then, once I have an idea, and let's just say I think that I might think that they're okay, say with Eagle Premier. So I'll go and I'll say, I have something that we can apply for today, and I tell them I'll look at the pricing. I'll give them a choice of 3,
Mhm.
A, B, and C,
Mhm.
a lower, a middle, and a higher.
Usually I take the middle.
Which do you feel most comfortable with? And then I will say, we can apply, and this is what we need to do to apply. And then I go through the whole application. So what I'm saying is, if I did that, it gave me 3 prices. So if I'm doing Aetna has preferred, standard, and graded.
Oh, you read the question, Mom. There's 3 sections on just like Transamerica. The reason why Transamerica.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if they don't always tell you the truth,
That's their problem.
Mm.
What are you
or they
gonna
don't even know the truth.
do?
But like when the quote comes up before you go through the app, what am I
if they.
I don't want to tell them preferred, because they may not be preferred.
If they haven't had a heart attack in the last 2 years, they haven't had cancer in the last 2 years, they haven't had stroke in the last 2 years, they didn't anything in the last 2 years, it's always a preferred. The only reason you gotta read the questions. That's why I tell everybody, get applications from the carriers and just study the applications, because when it comes to final expense, there's preferred, standard, graded, whatever it is. Some carriers are different. Like with Transamerica, have you had any form of heart surgery in the last 4 years? No, you could go to the next section. Have you had any form of heart surgery in the last 2 years? Yes, now it's a graded. Does that make sense? Like if you're good in 4 years or more, it's preferred with certain carriers. If it's 2 years to 4 years, maybe it's standard. If it's less than 2 years, then it's graded. Every carrier is different.
But when you're doing that, isn't that already, aren't you already now in the process of the application?
Well,
By the time you get into all
you
those
should-
questions?
You should know where you want to go. It's really not that difficult with Eagle. It's
Eagle's simple.
right. And that's right. There's no reason why you should be going anywhere else other than Eagle if you're getting somebody simple.
Right, like I always will try with Eagle first, but if Eagle doesn't go through and now I have to go to Aetna or even Prosperity, it's the
But why
same
wouldn't
thing.
it go through? Just
What, for Eagle?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a medication,
okay.
Sometimes it's.
That's where you have to do a better job of underwriting and just tell them up front, like, the more information you give me now, the more I can help you. The last thing I want to do is put an application. Listen, if you had a heart attack yesterday, Marie, please just let me know. I mean, I could still get you
But
insurance.
sometimes they get rejected for maybe a like I had a lady get rejected for a prescription. She got a prescription for a blood thinner for a test that they actually never took, and she never even took that blood thinner, but because she
Yeah.
was prescribed
But you,
that blood
yeah,
thinner.
you can't argue with the
And she
client,
didn't even think of telling me about that blood
and that's
thinner,
what usually happens. That's why when somebody,
because she never took it.
when somebody is on Plavix, Warfarin, any kind of blood thinner, I go right to Royal Neighbors. I don't even, Royal Neighbors approved, done, goodbye, next. Again, I know where I want to go. I know this stuff.
Mhm.
It's something that you'll get used to too. But to answer your question, you just have to know the differences in the application you're writing. With America, it's very simple. With Living Promise, if you had any cancer, 4 years ago, you're good. But between 2 and 4 years ago, it's graded, and you just have to know that.
Now, graded doesn't necessarily mean the waiting of the 2 years.
It does.
It does,
That's exactly
that's
what it
exactly what graded
Yep.
means then.
Some carriers have preferred standard
But
graders.
not all graded will be as lenient as AIG. You still have to get approved, where AIG, if you have a pulse.
Right.
They wait 2 years, but you get something. Like if something happens within them 2 years, you
Right.
get whatever premium you pay.
But is that everyone would get approved? I didn't
Every
think so.
every carrier is different.
'Cause I
And
know
as a matter of fact,
AIG it does.
As a matter of fact, Mutual of Omaha, their graded is really not too far off from level,
Yeah.
from the level premium. It's only a few dollars different. I don't know when that changed, but again, to answer your question, you should have an idea. I mean, the more medical problems people have, you just have to know. And we do give you the cheat sheets where it says heart attack less than 2 years graded, or heart attack over 2 years. Like it's there in black and white. But
Do we have a sheet that actually has all the carrier, because sometimes it's hard, because each carrier, if you go on the website, you'll see it here and
I'll
there.
give it to you.
There's gotta be something that has everybody.
I'll give it to you. I got you.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah, even the scripts, you
You
know,
want scripts too?
if you have it.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Am I done?
Yes. But yeah, I mean, you should have an idea where you want to go once you go through the medical history. Like if somebody had a heart attack 2 years ago, in 2 years, I need a date. What's the date? Is it March 7th of 19 before that date, or is it after March 7th, 2019? Because if it's after March 7th, like after today, 2-year anniversary, then
Can you just talk about the benefit of the certain people group, especially like if you get some information over the phone and you have an appointment either tomorrow or the next day, you can put that information in the group and say, hey, I'm sitting with someone 62 years old, these are my issues, what do you guys think, right?
I just think that's, first of all, I don't want to be in that house longer than I have to. You know why? Because they don't want me in their house.
No, I'm saying if I get that information today and I'm not sitting with them until tomorrow.
Oh,
or
that's a different story. I mean, obviously, and I think everybody should be going in to serve the people. Like, I think there should be more, like I've been doing this lately, where if somebody gets approved, I'll tell them why I went with Royal Neighbors, or I'll tell them why I went with Prosperity, or I'll tell them why I went with this carrier. And I think we should do a lot more of that. This way people know. See, like I never knew till recently, I think it was Cindy who writes a lot of foresters, and I haven't been contracted with foresters in 2 years. Every application for every simplified application out there is within the last 10 years, have you had any form of cancer? Right? And if you write yes, it's a decline. With foresters, no, I'm sorry. Every carrier out there asks the question, have you ever had any form of cancer? With foresters, have you had any form of cancer in the last 10 years? So if you had cancer 10, 12 years ago, you're good for simplified issue, which is huge. And I never knew that till recently. So that's one reason why you would go. Again, these are things that you would know once you get their health information. Like, okay, you had cancer 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I can't write you Amerigo Eagle. I mean, I can't write Amerigo HMS. I can't write Moo fully simplified, but I could give you a Foresters Smart UL.
Is that in terms of a term policy you're talking about?
What, Smart UL?
Yeah.
No,
You
that
just said, that you can write them for America HMS.
you can't.
You can't.
If they ever had cancer. Like if you had,
Oh, okay.
if somebody had cancer, you can't write them with Moo or Americo.
But I
if they-
thought you could if it's 2 to 4 years. That's what I'm saying. Are you talking about in terms of a term policy or?
I'm
full-
talking
No.
about fully, I'm talking about simplified issue like Term Express,
Okay.
IUL Express,
I got you.
HMS cashback option, HMS 125.
I got you.
Not
What
Eagle.
about Eagle?
No, yeah, as long as it's, I think, 2 years. So yeah, once you get a better idea of the
There's
person's
so many
health,
different, they all say, have.
that's why,
That's
Ma,
what
that's why I say, call the carrier, which you're good at. You have me sitting in front of you every week. You could be asking me those questions. Call the carrier, ask for sales. Hey, John over at Moo, I need 10 applications of Living Promise, I need 10 applications of IUL, and I need 10 term answers. Term answers, we really don't do fully underwritten, but once in a blue moon, you're gonna get that 40-year-old guy that's a diabetic, or that you may have to go fully, just have it in your bag.
Yeah.
You don't need to carry all 30 of them, just have it in your bag. Same
And that-
thing with HMS. Just
I have them in my car.
That's
learn
That's
it.
what we said, marry 3 to 4 carriers at the beginning, but then once you know them, then go and, expand your horizons, like, don't stay with those 4, which I did the mistake of doing that, like John said, it was my comfort zone, you know what I mean? But then later on, you should be expanding your boundaries. Go ahead, John, I'm sorry.
But just know, again, you don't have to know everything, but just read the applications. It's right there in black and white, and just check the comparison. Like, oh, okay, they take this, they don't take this, all right, and then it'll come up. Yes.
I have 2 questions. One, if you have a individual who is under the age of, like in their 30s, but they have asthma, so they take albuterol, what company is the best to go with? Because I've tried America and they were denied.
Yeah, I don't know why well, again, if it's just
I think
asthma,
John Hancock would take something, John?
I would try Moo. I would try John Hancock. What are you looking to do?
It was Express.
Like Term Express or IUL?
Yeah, it was just the term policy.
Yeah, if it's asthma, I know for a fact that Mutual of Omaha will take them.
Okay.
If it's asthma, unless it's severe asthma where they've been hospitalized.
Right, okay.
But if there's no hospitalizations and it's just an inhaler as needed, Moo takes that. I know that for a fact.
Okay, then my second question is, if you are in the home with a spouse or spouses, and one is healthy and one is not, is it best to just do guaranteed advantage for the one who is not healthy? A person had cancer, she's not 2 years until May 31st, 2021. So I was confused if I should just do a guaranteed advantage for right now and then come back after and do.
That's a good question. The way I do it is, Shanae, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get you some sort of protection now. I'm gonna come back in 6 to 12 months and reevaluate your health to see if there's anything out there that we could get you for, maybe we could get you more for less.
How would you word that it's just a?
Just do it. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put you with AIG for now. We're gonna reevaluate this at your 2-year anniversary or your 1-year anniversary, or we're gonna reevaluate this in 6 months, 12 months, see if there's anything more. There's new products that come across our way every day. So what I wanna do is, put you here for now, because there's no other way for you to go, right? You're talking about, when you say guaranteed advantage, you mean
I was
guaranteed?
talking about as far as Moo, because she was 48. So I couldn't do AIG, and then I could have done Great Western, but her husband said that was too expensive.
Right,
For 30.
She was 48.
48.
So I didn't know, I
yes,
just thought maybe
yes.
I should just do an accidental, but then I didn't know how to really word that. so he would still feel,
But yeah, I mean, if you have no other way to go and that's the only thing that you're approved for, congratulations, I got great news for you. You've been approved. And then just let them know the logistics of the policy. It's always congratulations, awesome, great, good job.
okay.
Could be a 4-year waiting period. It's a good job.
All right, well, can you talk to us, once you go through the underwriting process and you realize you can only go AIG or something graded, can you talk about how you present that to the client in a manner that?
Yeah, again, congratulations, I could get you approved with AIG. We do have some medical issues, but we're gonna pay a higher premium now. You know, it's a $10,000 policy, it's $92 a month. And then what we're gonna do is reevaluate this in a year or two to see if there's anything more favorable for you. I don't tell them I got good news and bad news. The good news is you've been approved. The bad news is it's a 2-year waiting period. Good news, you've been approved, period. Like, they know they have issues. Like, if you have stage, I mean, I don't know if I would ever write anybody with stage 4 cancer, but they know they have medical issues. They know it's hard for them to get insurance. So if you could get them something, even if it's a 2-year waiting period and pay a higher premium, I always,
Do you say that it's 2 years though?
you have to.
Yeah.
I don't,
But explain what the waiting period is, like, because a lot of people, they think that nothing is gonna pay out if they
Yeah, I mean-
have, like, explain it, that they have coverage.
Mhm.
It's just don't take effect till 2 years, but if something happens within those 2 years, you get all the premium back plus 10%.
like, Shanae, I got good
So
news
they got
for you.
something.
I'm gonna put you with AIG. It's gonna cost a little bit more because you are a risk. $10,000 policy, it's $92 a month. It's a whole life policy. It's gonna stay with you forever. It's gonna build cash value, the whole 9 yards. For the first 2 years of the policy, if you die within the first 2 years of the policy, your beneficiary is only getting your premiums plus 10%. So don't die within the first 2 years, please. What I'm gonna do after about 6 to 12 months to see if there's anything out there where we could get you immediate coverage for less. You soften the blow. Like, you give them the bad news, but you're not telling them the bad news.
Okay.
You know, you give them that, but I'm gonna come back in 6 to 12 months to see if there's anything that we could do for you, where we could get you more insurance as long as you stay healthy. So do whatever you're doing, just stay healthy.
Okay, gotcha.
Isn't that one, they stopped paying the premium at age 82?
90.
Yeah, AIG, yes.
It's 82 or 90?
I don't know.
But in other words-
I think it depends on their age.
But what if they
Like,
don't take it till they're age 78? Say,
Again, that's why I said it depends on the age. I don't know how that works. I don't get deep.
By the time-
You think too much?
yeah, by the time you get to that age, you have already paid that amount of premium. So you get it back, so this works out, if it makes sense.
Again, it depends on the age. Anybody?
Last thing, since we're talking about underwriting and COVID being a big deal, aren't there certain carriers that don't have a COVID question?
I don't know anybody that does not.
Okay.
Some are 30, some are 60 days, but I don't know anybody that does not.
You know,
And if anybody knows anybody, put it out there. But,
I believe AIG did.
well, yeah, I mean,
They don't care about it.
oh, you had cancer yesterday? Yeah, we're good. All right. Anybody? We good? You want to close it out? You want me to close it out? Peace. Until next week.
Peace. That was good.